शुक्रवार के इस साप्ताहिक सत्संग क्लास में आप सभी का स्वागत है। सुनाई दे रहा है मेरा आवाज? अरे बोल, ठीक है, थोड़ा बहुत आगे पीछे हो जाता है। तो अभी तक हम लोगों ने चर्चा की है श्लोक क्रमांक 25 तक, अध्याय 2 श्लोक क्रमांक 25। आज हम करने जा रहे हैं 26 और वह 27 भी कर लेते हैं। बस टॉपिक चेंज होता है तो 26 और 27 दोनों ही आज ले लेते हैं, हो जाएगा। और फिर चैतन्य यात्रा भी है, शिक्षाष्टकम हम लोगों को गाना है। अगले हफ्ते गौर पूर्णिमा है, बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट फेस्टिवल, इस्कॉन वालों के लिए स्पेशली बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट रहता है। चैतन्य महाप्रभु इज नन अदर देन कृष्णा, उनका आविर्भाव दिवस है। एंड इसीलिए फास्टिंग रहता है हम लोगों का, एकादशी फास्टिंग रहता है। विल हैव अभिषेकम, संकीर्तन, वो इस चैतन्य महाप्रभु, वो सब हम जानेंगे। लेकिन अगले फ्राइडे शाम में होगी क्लास, 5 से 7:30। 7:30 को महाप्रसादम एंड दैट्स ओके। सो लेकिन आज भगवद गीता श्लोक क्रमांक 26 और 27, तो मेरे पीछे दोहराइए। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय, ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय, ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय, नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरये नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवती उत्तम श्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्ठिकीम् कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकी नंदनाय च नंदगोपकुमाराय गोविन्दाय नमो नमः, गोविन्दाय नमो नमः, गोविन्दाय नमो नमः। अध्याय 2 श्लोक क्रमांक 26। तो कुछ 26 रिपीट कर लेंगे और कुछ 27 को रिपीट कर लेंगे, है ना। अथ चैनं नित्यजातं नित्यं वा मन्यसे मृतम् तथापि त्वं महाबाहो नैनं शोचितुमर्हसि। अथ चैनं नित्यजातं नित्यं वा मन्यसे मृतम् तथापि त्वं महाभावो नैनं शोचितुमर्हसि। प्रभु माता जी, फिर कोई 1-2 बच्चे, फिर बाकी सेकंड वाला। हरे कृष्ण। अथ चैनं नित्यजातं नित्यं वा मन्यसे मृतम् तथापि त्वं महाबाहो नैनं शोचितुमर्हसि।
अथ चैनं नित्यजातं नित्यं वा मन्यसे मृतम् तथापि त्वं महाबाहो नैनं शोचितुमर्हसि। अथ चैनं नित्यजातं नित्यं वा मन्यसे मृतम् तथापि त्वं महाबाहो नैनं शोचितुमर्हसि। अथ चैनं नित्यजातं नित्यं वा मन्यसे मृतम् तथापि त्वं महाबाहो नैनं शोचितुमर्हसि अथ चैनं नित्यजातं नित्यं वा मन्यसे मृतं तथापि त्वं महाबाहो नैनं शोचितुमर्हसि अथ चैनं नित्यजातं नित्यं वा मन्यसे मृतं तथापि त्वं महाबाहो अर्हसि नैनं शोचितुमर्हसि अथ चैनं नित्यजातं नित्यं वा मन्यसे मृतं तथापि त्वं महाबाहो नैनं शोचितुमर्हसि अथ चैनं नित्यजातं नित्यं वा मन्यसे मृतं तथापि त्वं महाबाहो नैनं शोचितुमर्हसि अथ चैनं नित्यजातं नित्यं वा मन्यसे मृतं तथापि त्वं महाबाहो नैनं शोचितुमर्हसि। वर्ड टू वर्ड मीनिंग अथ यदि फिर भी च भी एनम इस आत्मा को नित्य जातम उत्पन्न होने वाला नित्यम सदैव के लिए वह अथवा मन्यसे तुम ऐसा सोचते हो मृतम मृत तथा अपि फिर भी त्वं तुम महाबाहो हे शूरवीर न कभी नहीं एनम आत्मा के विषय में शोचितुम शोक करने के लिए अर्हसी योग्य है। अनुवाद तात्पर्य श्री भक्तिवेदांत स्वामी श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। मेरे पीछे दोहराइए। किंतु यदि तुम यह सोचते हो कि आत्मा अथवा जीवन का लक्षण सदा जन्म लेता है तथा सदा मरता है तो भी हे महाबाहु तुम्हारे शोक करने का कोई कारण नहीं है। तात्पर्य पढ़ेंगे।
तथा से दार्शनिकों का एक ऐसा वर्ग चला आ रहा है जो बौद्धों के ही समान ये नहीं मानता कि शरीर के परे भी आत्मा का स्वतंत्र अस्तित्व है। ऐसा प्रतीत होता है कि जब भगवान कृष्ण ने भगवद गीता का उपदेश दिया तो ऐसे दार्शनिक विद्यमान थे और लोकायतिक तथा वैभाषिक नाम से जाने जाते थे। ऐसे दार्शनिकों का मत है कि जीवन के लक्षण भौतिक संयोग की एक परिपक्वावस्था में ही घटित होते हैं। आधुनिक भौतिक विज्ञानों तथा भौतिकवादी दार्शनिक भी ऐसा ही सोचते हैं। उनके अनुसार शरीर भौतिक तत्वों का संयोग है और एक ऐसी अवस्था आती है जब भौतिक और रासायनिक तत्वों के संयोग से जीवन के लक्षण विकसित हो उठते हैं। नृतत्व विज्ञान इसी दर्शन पर आधारित है। संप्रति अनेक छद्म धर्म जिनका अमेरिका में प्रचार हो रहा है इसी दर्शन का पालन करते हैं और साथ ही शून्यवादी अभक्त बौद्धों का अनुसरण करते हैं। यदि अर्जुन को आत्मा के अस्तित्व में विश्वास नहीं था जैसा कि वैभाषिक दर्शन में होता है तो भी उसके शोक करने का कोई कारण ना था। कोई भी मानव थोड़े से रसायनों की क्षति के लिए शोक नहीं करता तथा अपना कर्तव्य पालन नहीं त्याग देता है। दूसरी ओर आधुनिक विज्ञान और वैज्ञानिक युद्ध में शत्रु पर विजय प्राप्त करने के लिए ना जाने कितने टन रसायन फूंक देते हैं। वैभाषिक दर्शन के अनुसार आत्मा शरीर के क्षय होते ही लुप्त हो जाता है। अतः प्रत्येक दशा में चाहे अर्जुन इस वैदिक मान्यता को स्वीकार करता कि अणु आत्मा का अभिन्न है, या कि वह आत्मा के अस्तित्व को स्वीकार नहीं करता, इसके लिए शोक करने का कोई कारण न था। इस सिद्धांत के अनुसार चूंकि पदार्थ से प्रत्येक क्षण असंख्य जीव उत्पन्न होते हैं और नष्ट होते रहते हैं, अतः ऐसी घटनाओं के लिए शोक करने की कोई आवश्यकता नहीं है। यदि आत्मा का पुनर्जन्म नहीं होता है तो अर्जुन को अपने पितामह तथा गुरु के वध करने के पाप फलों से डरने का कोई कारण नहीं था। किंतु साथ ही कृष्ण ने अर्जुन को व्यंग पूर्वक महाबाहु कहकर संबोधित किया, क्योंकि उसे वैभाषिक सिद्धांत स्वीकार नहीं था जो वैदिक ज्ञान के प्रतिकूल है। क्षत्रिय होने के नाते अर्जुन का संबंध वैदिक संस्कृति से था और वैदिक सिद्धांतों का पालन करते रहना ही उसके लिए शोभनीय था।
हरे कृष्णा। तो दूसरा भी लेते हैं, उसके बाद में हम लोग छोड़ते हैं। अपन लेते हैं दूसरा वाला, दैट इज 27। ओके। जातस्य हि ध्रुवो मृत्युर् ध्रुवं जन्म मृतस्य च तस्माद् अपरिहार्येऽर्थे न त्वं शोचितुमर्हसि। जातस्य हि ध्रुवो मृत्यु ध्रुवं जन्म मृतस्य च तस्माद् अपरिहार्येऽर्थे न त्वं शोचितुमर्हसि। एक प्रभु, एक माता जी और एक बच्चे, बस। अरे वो यस।
जातस्य हि ध्रुवो मृत्यु
जातस्य हि ध्रुवो मृत्युर्
ध्रुवं जन्म मृतस्य च
ध्रुवं जन्म मृतस्य च
तस्मादपरिहार्ये अर्थे
तस्मादपरिहार्येऽर्थे
न त्वं शोचितुमर्हसि।
न त्वं शोचितुमर्हसि। माता जी कोई। जातस्य हि ध्रुवो मृत्यु ध्रुवं जन्म मृतस्य च तस्मादपरिहार्येऽर्थे न त्वं शोचितुमर्हसि। यस। जातस्य हि ध्रुवो मृत्यु ध्रुवं जन्म मृतस्य च अपरिहार्येते तस्मादपरिहार्येते न त्वं शोचितुमर्हसि। हरे कृष्ण। जातस्य जन्म लेने वाले की ही निश्चय ही ध्रुव तथ्य है, मृत्यु मृत्यु ध्रुवम यह भी तथ्य है, जन्म जन्म मृतस्य मृत प्राणी का च भी तस्मात् अतः अपरिहार्य जिससे बचा न जा सके उसका अर्थे के विषय में न नहीं त्वं तुम शोचितुम शोक करने के लिए अर्हसि योग्य है। अनुवाद तात्पर्य भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। जिसने जन्म लिया है उसकी मृत्यु निश्चित है और मृत्यु के पश्चात पुनर्जन्म भी निश्चित है। अतः अपने अपरिहार्य कर्तव्य पालन में तुम्हें शोक नहीं करना चाहिए। तात्पर्य पढ़ेंगे तो कोई पास है। यस।
One who has to take birth according to one's activities of life, And after finishing one term of activity, one has to die to take birth for the next. In this way, one is going through one cycle of birth and death after another without liberation. This cycle of birth and death does not, however, support unnecessary murder, slaughter, and war. But at the same time, violence and war are inevitable factors in human society for keeping law and order. The battle of Kurukshetra, being the will of the Supreme, was an inevitable event. And to fight for the right cause is the duty of the Kshatriya. Why should he be afraid of or agree at the death of his relatives, since he was discharging his proper duty? He did not deserve to break the law, thereby becoming subjected to the reactions of sinful acts of which he was so afraid. By avoiding the discharge of his proper duty, he would not be able to stop the death of his relatives, and he would be degraded due to his selection of the wrong path of actions.
Hari Om Tat Sat. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Gurum Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurum Vaishnavamsha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvai Savadutam Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sagana Lalitam Shri Vishakam Vitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostate Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. हरे कृष्ण. सभी लोग आगे आ जाइए, थोड़ा कोई बात नहीं, क्योंकि और कोई पीछे आएंगे अभी, वो कोई 12 बजे आएंगे बोले किसी की मैसेज आया लेट होंगे तो आ जाएगा. हरे कृष्ण. So we have finished up to shloka number 25. Okay, so last week we discussed shloka number 25. Can you just give me a quick recap? What did we discuss? What was the main points? And what was the take home? Avikarya. So 3 qualities, 3 characteristics we discussed. Apart from the 9 characteristics which we discussed in the previous shloka, last time we discussed these 3 qualities. Avyakta, meaning it cannot be seen. And achintya, it cannot be perceived. Yeah, it cannot be perceived. And conceived or perceived, both, no, actually. Perceived also. Or conceived. And third one is unchangeable. Yeah, it cannot change its. No transformation. Yes, that's the worst thing. So no transformation. So these were the main qualities. And before this 9 qualities, Krishna explained Arjuna, and we understood what is this, right? Like, what do you mean by achintyo? What do you mean by avikaryo? We all understood, right? Any examples? You remember? So that is transformation, avikaryo. Okay, so milk getting transformed to curd upon touching of any sour product. So then again, milk cannot be, curds cannot be transformed back to milk. So Atma is one which will remain as it is. Okay, there will be no change. Then achintyo and the avyakta. Avyakta for whom? Huh? No, avyakta means what? Avyakta is not visible for whom? That was meant. Yeah, that is okay, but yeah, material. So what material? Material. No. Not possible to see is not possible, not visible to our senses. That is eyes, right? So, and also to mind. Achintyoyam is specially to the mind, because we cannot conceive what, what kind of, what the soul is. So, not possible. So these are all our material. All these senses are made up of Panchabhutas, 5 elements, which are material elements. Similarly, mind, intelligence, and false ego are also made up of the Sukshma material. That is what they are also material senses, right? There are 8 material senses, all 5 gross and 3 subtle. So this is what, so when we have to, we cannot see this through these senses. Why? Because soul is spiritual and this is material. So sometimes, I didn't say this word last time, right? Sometimes physical laws, physics you study and science you study. Both their laws match each other. Both their principles match each other. No, physics fellow will say, no, this is physical principles. And the biology person will say, no, this is biological principles. They will not match because they are based on certain assumptions. The physics laws of motions or the biological laws, they actually work on certain motions, certain assumptions through which, those the result is demonstrated. So similarly, like we are all this material body, through this material senses, we cannot realize this spiritual science. So this is material science and that is spiritual science. So, a spiritual body, that is the reason it is very, very difficult. But how can we? We said it is possible. Who can guide that? Spiritual scriptures or spiritual scriptures as well as, spiritual scriptures, that are the Vedas, or authority. So authority is Guru and Sadhu. Or we understood the example of mother, right? If you want to ask who is your father, the best authority is mother. She will be able to tell he is your father. Okay, so this way the Vedas are our mother and they give us the knowledge about the soul, and that is how we can see the soul. So we had a doubt, how can we see the soul? And with the help of knowledge, right? So with the help of knowledge, we could see the soul and also we could feel the soul. Yeah, that is where. So
this process is yoga.
Yes, that is what. And the processes we process as well as we have to do our antakaran shuddhi, right? We have to एक तो अपने आप का शुद्धिकरण करना होगा और वेदों का सहारा लेना होगा. तभी हम we can transcend the modes of this material nature. This material nature can be transcended only if our senses are purified. And how can they be purified? जैसे अंतःकरण का बोला था ना मैंने, मन को प्यूरिफाई करने के लिए क्या चाहिए? मन को प्यूरिफाई करने के लिए मंत्र, चैंटिंग करने से मन ऑटोमेटिकली, बोलते मन इधर उधर घूमता है, तुम छोड़ दो मन को, चिंता ही मत करो. मन त्रायते इति, तो है ना, इसी को बोलते मंत्र को इसीलिए बोलते जो मन को त्राता है. ओके. एंड बुद्धि, इंटेलिजेंस, हाउ कैन दैट बी प्यूरिफाइड? By knowledge, reading the scriptures. Okay. And how can your false ego be purified? By surrendering and serving the Guru or serving the Vaishnavas. The moment you serve, automatically your false ego falls to the flat. So by serving, our false ego gets purified. And the last is, that's what. If you purify these 3, automatically our consciousness transcends the 3 modes of material nature and comes to the level of spiritual realm, right? So that is why we can do that. And the method was also mentioned, of course, right? So till now, Krishna spoke about soul and the body, right? Krishna spoke about soul and the body, right? What was the title of that chapter, shloka number 11 to 30, the short title, what did I give in the initial? Jnana Yoga, Sankhya Yoga, right? So Sankhya Yoga or Jnana Yoga. And what is the Jnana? Jnana about the body and the soul, right? So 13 to 18 chapter will be all, we will discuss more Jnana Yoga in total detail. But the, up to 11 to 30 is this Jnana Yoga. So within this Jnana Yoga, he was talking about soul and body, and he was distinguishing between the body and the soul. And soul is different, and the body is different. And that is what, when we say we, that is what, when we are representing we are representing to the soul, not to this body. And all this he was speaking, Krishna, right? So he continues today also in 26. Today he continues his instruction to Arjuna to free him from his lamentation, right? The shok which he had, he wanted to free him from the lamentation. And what does he say? Nityaṁ śocitum arhasi, right? Nainaṁ śocitum arhasi. Today he is saying nainaṁ śocitum arhasi, and the next one he says nityaṁ śocitum arhasi, which means it is not worthy of lamenting. So as I said, you from last shloka till 30th will be listening about this natum śocitum arhasi. That is, it is not worthy of you to lament about this petty things. So meaning is same, both like last time it was nanu śocitum arhasi, and this time it is nainaṁ śocitum arhasi, right? Nainaṁ was last week, and this time it is nanu śocitum arhasi. So both meanings are the same, right? Enam is the soul. So meaning is the same, that it is not worthy for you to lament. But the reason Krishna gave till last shloka and the reason Krishna gives in this shloka, both are both are diametrically opposite. Diametrically opposite. Yeah, that's what he say. Logic is that you don't have to comment, but he till now what he gave about Jnana Yoga, about soul and the body, that was the knowledge actually, and that was based on the Atma Gyan, right? And today he is giving that same knowledge as an ordinary Gyan. Ordinary Gyan, ordinary knowledge. One is Brahma Tattva, that is, Atma and Paramatma, and body, all those knowledge, which is Atma Gyan. And second one is ordinary Gyan. Like, we know, like, if you are a company secretary, what is the ordinary business and what is the special business, right? So till now he was speaking about the special business, and today he's speaking about just an ordinary business. So what he's saying, so you have to understand this, when he's speaking about this philosophy, this is an ordinary philosophy today, what he's speaking of. Altogether till now what you read, and that's why he gave his conclusion last time, and today is coming out, so that, there should not be any loopholes left around. So, he concluded to all yogis and everything, but today he's talking about general layman. General layman may say, oh, I don't know what a yogi does and all those, but I am just an ordinary man. So he's coming to that angle also and explaining that, even if this is the case, you don't have to lament, right? So today he's speaking about that. So you must understand that, even 5,000 years ago, when Krishna spoke Bhagavad Gita, that time also such kind of philosophies existed. It is not new. That time also these philosophies existed. But these philosophies never were, deviating from the main path. Such philosophies were not deviating from the main path, or people did not have such kind of differentiation, even though the philosophies existed even at that time. People more or less focused on the, they never said that, we are the material creatures rather than being the spiritual creatures. So such philosophies existed. They were not prominent. I can say they were not prominent as they are prominent in today's world. Okay. So you go back to 50 years down the line, your grandmother, grandfather, great-grandfather, whatever they used to do, they used to know. Ultimately, it is the Lord who will take care of everything, okay, by whatever means. But today, we have many people deviating from the main philosophies. So today, Krishna is addressing to such worldly philosophy and refuting again that, and refuting to Arjuna that, even if this is the case also, you don't have to lament. So जो मैंने कहा था कि आत्मज्ञान जो उन्होंने योगियों तक का ज्ञान दिया था, आज एक साधारण इंसान व्यक्ति के प्रति एक ज्ञान देके वे एक सिद्धांत प्रस्तुत कर रहे हैं कि यदि ये भी है तो भी आपको लैमेंट करने की जरूरत, आपको शोक करने की जरूरत नहीं है. indirectly making a way that, by quoting this, he is comparing that, your shoka, which your lamentation, which you are presenting, is much more inferior compared to even this ordinary theory. Is much more inferior compared to this ordinary theory. So that is the reason you should not lament. हम बोलते हैं ना कभी कभी, काम चलाओ भाई, कुछ भी काम चलाने के लिए कुछ तो चाहिए, है ना. अभी तो मृदंग नहीं है तो करताल से ही काम चला लो, है ना. मामू नहीं है मेरे तो नकटे मामू से ही काम चला लो, बोलते हैं ना. Mamu means what? Mother's brother. We don't have mother's brother. Mother's brother has very important role in marriages, right? So जो कार्य करता है मेन, बिकॉज वन ऑफ द शादी के अंदर उनके मदर के ब्रदर का एक बहुत बड़ा इंपॉर्टेंट कार्य होता है. तो नहीं मामू से मेरे नकटे मामू अच्छे हैं, जो कार्य नहीं करते, अर्थात कोई कुछ भी नहीं करते हैं. अरे भाई कुछ नहीं करता है लेकिन आके खड़ा रह जाएगा, कुछ वो जो चावल डालना है डाल देगा, है ना. ऐसा भी आगे आ जाइए प्रभु कुछ लोग. हरी बोल. तो नहीं मामू से नकटे मामू अच्छे हैं. तो ये कॉन्सेप्ट के ऊपर बेस्ड है कि भाई ठीक है, अगर तुम शरीर, आज क्या बोल रहे हो वो, अथ cainaṁ nitya-jātaṁ, assuming that the soul is nitya-jātaṁ. Atha cainaṁ is the soul. Atha means, okay, assume that the soul is nitya-jātaṁ, always born. Nitya-jātaṁ, nitya means always, eternal. We can call eternal. Eternal means always. The eternal world doesn't suit here because jātaṁ is janam leta hai, because soul will never take birth, right? वो तो already अजन्मा है. We already understood that. But even if you think it, the soul is nitya-jātaṁ, means always takes birth. Nityaṁ va manyase mṛtam. And the soul is always destroyed too. As you die, the soul is also destroyed. So indicating the this means that that nitya again indicates that there is the soul does not exist, or when the body is created, the soul also gets created, and the body is dead and the soul also dies. So which is which means everything is matter, and when we say soul is spiritual, so that if it is spiritual, then how did it enter the matter? That becomes very difficult to explain. So that is the reason Srila Prabhupada speaks about Vaibhashika philosophy here. He speaks about today two philosophies, Vaibhashika and एक और नाम दिया ना उन्होंने, Lokaitas. Vaibhashika and Lokaitas theory. So he speaks about this. So Vaibhashika means things which are based on the soul. That is, when you say aap kaun ho, means who are you? You are no one but the soul, right? हमने तो यही समझा था, because 12th only we like you are not this body in the first sloka, 11th itself, and 12th is you are the 13th we understood that you are the soul. So that person, when he is dead, actually the person who leaves, that soul has no identity. In Vaibhashika philosophy, that there is no things like ठीक है body है खत्म हो गया. So how does that body had been working till now and how it is dead? So that is where they say there is some kind of this some kind of firing within the brain. The various neurons, they fire, and the brain, and and then that produces kind of consciousness, and that consciousness again reacts to the body, and then there is there is a chain, again there is a interaction, and again there is a firing of neurons, and this way there is reflex action, which scientists and all those give we have a spiritual meaning behind that, but okay, that is today's philosophy. So there is a reflex action, and this way actually the body functions, moves, and all those. So the consciousness has no independent source. It is developed on account of this chemical changes through the neurons to the brain, and then all those things. So as long as the circuit of firing sources is continuing, or this chemical changes is continuing, then till then there is consciousness. इसको हिंदी में रसायन बोलते हैं. जब तक रसायन तत्व आपके दिमाग में आपके ये फायर करते रहेगा, तब तक आपका ये कॉन्शियसनेस बना रहेगा, और जैसे ही वो रसायन तत्व खत्म हो जाएगा तो कॉन्शियसनेस खत्म हो जाएगा. So nityam-jātaṁ means, and nityam-mṛtam means consciousness is created when the chemicals or internal, we have chemicals, right? Chemical analysis बिगड़ गया हम बोलते हैं कभी-कभी ना, बॉडी में salt की कमी हो गई, सोडियम कमी हो गई, पोटेशियम कमी हो गई. So actually the moment this the changes in this chemicals, when they become active, it becomes consciousness, and then when they become disactive, it becomes dead. So this is one of the Vaibhashika theory. Okay, now putting aside Vaibhashika theory. So this is the meaning of that Vaibhashika theory, that okay, the chemicals. Till now, no one has demonstrated that chemicals can produce consciousness. Till now, scientifically. And leave around that demonstrating it, no one has theoretically explained also how that simple unconscious matter can become conscious. No one has explained that as well. Okay, so it just one has theoretically, so it just remains as a theory, or say how one dead matter can produce consciousness. So it becomes just a, so that's a reason Srila Prabhupada, while giving lecture on in November 72, in the year November 72 at Hyderabad, because this 4 or 5 shlokas he had taken it at Hyderabad, and that is where we have a very good recording in Radha Madan Mohan temple when he was recording. So he says that scientists say that today there is no Jivatma, and mind, and it is only a state of chemical changes which causes the life and death. So Krishna is refuting to Arjuna lamentation using such theory. He says, if, for example, if a bottle of chemicals, say we have an acid bottle, right? Chemical, what acid is also a chemical, right? If you have an acid bottle, by any chance that has fallen down, broken, will you lament for that? अरे भाई बच गए वही बोलते हैं, तो जाके दूसरा बॉटल ले आएंगे ना, एसिड का दूसरा बॉटल लाना वो ले आएंगे, ठीक है ना. वैसे कई केमिकल्स है घर में, तो उसके लिए कोई लैमेंट नहीं करता है. तो अर्जुन का लैमेंटेशन ये केमिकल से भी गया गुजरा है क्या? केमिकल की बॉटल टूटने पे कोई नाराज होता है, कोई लैमेंट करता है? नहीं. तो फिर न तुम śocitum arhasi, अरे इस छोटी सी बात के लिए क्यों तुम लैमेंट कर रहे हो, अगर तुम ऑर्डिनरी भाषा समझते हो तो. ये वैभाषिक भाषा. He's putting all the loopholes closed. Okay, so do not lament for that acid bottle. Similarly, think about this Bhishma and Drona. If you think they are also formed due to the chemical changes in the body, okay, based on the Vaibhashik theory, if they also have been formed due to the chemical changes in the body, then the chemical is lost. Then why do you have to lament? The chemical is finished. You don't have to lament for that. So then Srila Prabhupada says it is not that, chemicals, it's not that easy. Chemicals already exist in your body, in material, in the entire environment. The chemicals always exist. Okay. Can any one of you at least, produce life? Then at least produce one ant and show. Srila Prabhupada gave them this thing that, अगर तुम बोलते केमिकल्स तो वैसे ही अवेलेबल है, बहुत सारे, जितने सारे आप बॉडी में केमिकल्स बोलो सब बाहर अवेलेबल है ना. तो एटलीस्ट वो मिला के एक जरा एक चींटी तो बना के दिखा दो मेरे को, चींटी चला के दिखा दो बना के. So one has to understand that means because then we will understand. If you do that, then we will understand this is science. Because what is the meaning of science? What is the meaning of science? What happens in science? Science students, engineering and everybody are there. One is prove and dusra? Experience, right? Observation. One has to observe and one has to experience. That is experiment. So then only science is established, right? Observation and experimentation. So if you cannot demonstrate the experiment, then it cannot be a science. Right? Can you produce an ant and show? Whatever best. So you can become a, scientist. Can you just produce a... Srinivas today has gone to US. So he's a scientist. Can he just produce an ant and show? No. So we have to understand that, if you cannot demonstrate and cannot experiment, then that is not science, but that is just a principle. That is just a principle, siddhant. जिसको हम हिंदी में बोलते हैं, क्या बोलते हैं, सिद्धांत। वो केवल एक सिद्धांत है, क्योंकि हम उसको ये करके नहीं दिखा सकते, प्रूव करके नहीं दिखा सकते। So the so-called scientists have to till date never demonstrated any experiment bringing life through chemical changes. So therefore it remains a theory. Krishna refutes here.
I think I just want to provoke the discussion.
Yeah.
I think the over except I can understand, but now so we have miniature robots.
Yes.
Now we have artificial intelligence.
Yes.
Now see, if you actually have a small robo ant, which is a combination of different chemicals. Okay, they're not structured in biological way, but it has a chemical composition.
Yeah.
And if it is running with AI, no, would that count? Because that
is
created a being.
Yes.
Which is okay. It will evolve. I think now is it self-conscious? I don't know, but is it aware? Is it able to respond? It's thinking on its own.
Till now, it is not self-conscious.
Right,
it is run based on the program.
Time, it is
Yeah.
evolving. Right?
Yeah.
And the second thing, it's only a theory.
Yeah.
So we decide, but see, if you take the previous slokas, he's also saying it is written in the Purana, so you have to take it.
Yes,
He's also
exactly.
saying the same thing, right? So the principle of यहाँ पे लिखा है तो ये truth है. These guys
No.
are saying ये मैंने लिखा है ये truth है.
No. उसने शीला प्रभुपाद ने लिखा, because you cannot read Puranas.
Yeah.
I wanted to tell you, even if you have to read all the Vedas, this life is not enough. This life is not enough. People say, वो हमने वेद पढ़ लिया, वो कुछ इंपॉर्टेंट श्लोक ही पढ़ते हैं, पूरा वेद नहीं पढ़ सकते हम। 80 साल तो खाली एक वेद पढ़ने को लग जाएंगे। उसका एनालिसिस आ रहा था, मैं वो वीडियो भेजता हूँ वापस ढूंढ के कभी आपको। तो वेद पढ़ते पढ़ते हमारे को तो उतनी उम्र ही नहीं है हमारी कि वेद पूरे पढ़ लेंगे। तो इसीलिए जब ये भगवान कह रहे हैं कि यू हैव टू गो थ्रू दी वेदास, then it is better to accept this. Srila Prabhupada has written, Krishna has not said that, right? Because you have to understand why he has said that.
I think the first
Yeah.
point about AI and robot.
AI and robot.
The robotics, miniature.
Yes. It's okay. Ultimately, you cannot call it as a life, Prabhu, right? You cannot call it as a life.
It's a machine.
It's a machine.
But we are saying body is also machine.
Yeah. But that is where exactly. Body is machine. Body is machine. Yes. And Prabhu, that's what. It will come yantra rudani maya. Body is also a machine. Krishna will say that only. But within that machine, there is a soul, without which this body is useless. Similarly, that AI softwares and all those, without that software, that particular AI created object is useless. चेतना, अभी वो चेतना का अभी बहुत रिसर्च चल रहा है, मैं ये नहीं बोल रहा हूँ, साइंटिस्ट तो है, काम कर ही रहे. Yeah, it's evolving. I'll come to that also today. Evolving also will speak, because death, next is death, that is also evolving. It's not that, of course it's an event, but it's an evolving event, right? So right from day one it starts. So there were, so such theories actually, sometimes, they say, okay, कुछ होता ही नहीं है, ये जीवन है और मरण है, कोई मतलब ही नहीं है. तो such theories, that's Vaibhashik theories, is a problem to the human society. You have to understand that. Because आप रोबोट बना भी दोगे, उसके रोबोट के भाई कई घातक परिणाम भी होते हैं. कौन सा पिक्चर था वो बहुत पहले, आई डोंट नो. हाँ, रोबोटी नाम था क्या? रोबोटी सब. हाँ, रजनीकांत. तो वो भी कैसे गलत, क्या हुआ आज तेरे को? हाँ, तो रजनी वो उसके अंदर भी वो कैसे गलत यूज हो जाता है ना. So they have become a big problem to the human society. So there is no life after this life actually is taking the society towards downfall. पतन की ओर ले जा रहा है. There is no life after this life. When we take that philosophy, we are actually leading to downfall. हमारा पतन की ओर हमारा कारक हो रहा है. क्योंकि उससे क्या होगा, क्या होता है कि जब कोई ऐसा खाली थियरी के रूप में ऐसा प्रेजेंट कर देता है, तो धर्म को कोई भरोसा नहीं करता है. धर्म की कोई कथा चल भी रही होगी, ओके, लोग खाली टाइम पास के लिए चले जाएंगे. घर में सास बहू का झगड़ा हो रहा है तो सास चली जाओ या बहू चले जाओ, और वहां जाके बैठे बैठे सास बहू, मेरे बहू ने क्या किया, तेरी बहू ने क्या किया, ये बातें करो. और वो मजाक बोलते हो, जो सीरियस बात होती है शास्त्र की, उसको मजाक में लेके खाली सास बहू अपना कंथा लेके अपने दूसरी महिलाओं के साथ में शेयर करती है, या पुरुष भी समझ लो, ठीक है ना. सिर्फ महिला ही बोलेंगे, सिर्फ महिला ही क्यों बोला, पुरुष भी ऐसा, ठीक है.
time has, but
हाँ.
just for completeness, I mean, can you just give a simple summary of the Buddhist
That also I'll tell you.
just to
Yeah. I'll tell you. So so धर्म का महत्व जब चला जाता है तो फिर उसका वो हमें एक जो सो पतन की ओर लेके चला जाता है. It's like, we go towards downfall. Why, like the now Srila Prabhupada mentions this, there were always such class of philosophers almost akin to that of Buddhist. Okay, so ऐसा एक सिद्धांत आया था चारवाक मुनि का सिद्धांत आया था. ओके, जो कि लोकायतास के ऊपर बेस्ड है. ओके, लोकायतास के ऊपर बेस्ड है चारवाक मुनि का सिद्धांत, and which is nothing but akin to Buddhist. That's what Prabhupada has written, right? Akin to that Buddhist philosophy, who do not believe in any separate existence of soul beyond the body. So Buddhist philosophy believes only in the bodily consciousness of life. They never believe on the soul consciousness. शून्यवाद, right? शून्यवाद है ना, क्या बोलते हैं उसको? नहीं, चारवाक का भी बाद में आएंगे. Buddhist akin. Okay, so the akin, similar to Buddhist philosophy. Okay, so when Lord Krishna spoke, that time also there were such lokayitas present. Okay, I will come to Buddhist also in the end. There were lokayitas present. Okay, Vaibhashikas we already spoke. Vaibhashikas means the chemical changes based on the chemical reactions and bodily soul and all those. Coming to this lokayitas, Charvak Muni was a very good example. He was a very good friend of Duryodhana. Okay, he was a very good friend of Duryodhana. भौतिकवादी and नास्तिक विचार का वह व्यक्ति था. ठीक है, उसका मेन सूत्र मंत्र एक है, यावत् जीवेत सुखम जीवेत ऋणम कृत्वा घृतम पीवेत भस्मीभूतस्य देहस्य पुनरागमनं कुत. अर्थात यावत् जीवेत सुखम जीवेत, जितने दिन जीना है सुख से जियो ना. काय का टेंशन ले रहे हो? सोल है, आत्मा है, ये वो, काय का टेंशन लेने का है? हाँ, खूब मौज मस्ती करके जियो. ऋणम कृत्वा घृतम पीवेत, घर में खाने के लिए नहीं है, घी नहीं है. मतलब घी बोले तो एक ऑप्युलेंट चीज थी, है ना, आज भी है. तो घी नहीं है, कोई बात नहीं, लोन लेके पियो. ये आज का सिद्धांत भी वही है ना, मौज मस्ती करो. पैसा नहीं है, लोन लो और मौज मस्ती करो. हाँ, भस्मीभूतस्य देहस्य, है ना, दिस बॉडी विल बी रिड्यूस्ड टू एशेस. पुनरागमनं कुत, who has seen that you are coming back? Who has seen that you are coming back? So as long as you live, enjoy your life. That is what is the Charvak Siddhant. So, so when Duryodhana's ties were broken by Bhima, that time he remembered, Ashwathama and all those will not go, but that time he remembered even Charvak Muni. That, my friend said, enjoy everything, but I'm now suffering. But somehow the other, that Muni should come, friend should come, and somehow the other he should, give curse to these Pandavas. So Muni did not come at that time, but when Yudhishthira was assuming the throne, that time Charvak Muni came. Same again in the form of sadhu, various, when coronation is being done, we have various sadhus coming, giving आशीर्वाद, ये वो, means like, जब वो पूरा प्रोसेस ही होता है, उस बीच में ये चारवाक मुनि भी आए थे. और चारवाक मुनि ने आकर बोला युधिष्ठिर को, तूने इतना बड़ा गलत कार्य कर दिया, अपने ही भाइयों को मार डाला और अब राज्य पर चढ़ने जा रहा है, उनके खून पर लदकर राज्य पर चढ़ने जा रहा है. तो बेचारे वो युधिष्ठिर महाराज धर्म मीन्स लाइक धर्म वाले धर्मराज जो है, तो सोच में पड़ गए. अरे ये मीन्स लाइक ब्राह्मण कोई ऐसा बोलने लग जाए तो बड़े सोच में पड़ जाते हैं. तो बाकी ब्राह्मण भी उस समय खड़े थे. अरे बोले महाराज इसका भरोसा मत करो, ये चारवाक है, बोले ये साधु बनने का ढोंग करता है, बोले आपने जो भी किया वह सब सही किया, आप वी गो एड, वी गिव यू आशीर्वाद कि आपका कल्याण हो, आपका ये हो, आपका वो, सारा वो साधु लोगों ने आशीर्वाद दिया. और
अपने ही योग बल से इसको मीन्स लाइक उसको मीन्स लाइक क्या बोलता है ना, एक हिसाब से उसको प्रताड़ित किया कि भाई तू ये जबरदस्ती क्यों गलत चीजें बोल रहा है, जो आत्मा की बात है वही है, जो कार्य किया है सच हुआ है। तो अपने जाना, क्योंकि अध्याय 2 के शुरुआत में हमने सोच लिया, मैं समझ गए थे 6 प्रकार के आतताइयों को तो मारना ही चाहिए, तो इन्होंने कुछ गलत नहीं किया है। अपने ही वे योग बल से ऐसा होता है कि वो सामने वाले के ऊपर इतना भारी पड़ जाते हैं कि इनके योग बल से वह भस्म होके वहीं जल जाता है। तो इस प्रकार जैसे दुर्योधन खत्म हुआ अधर्मी, मीन्स दुर्योधन क्या था, एक अधर्मी राक्षस था क्षत्रिय के वेश में, राइट। क्षत्रिय का काम होता है धर्म से युद्ध करना, राइट। और ये क्या था, अधर्मी था इन क्षत्रिय के वेश। वैसे ही चारवाक था एक मीन्स लाइक राक्षस नहीं बोलते इसको, क्या बोलते हैं, नहीं असुर, असुर बोलते हैं ना, जो जो सुर को मीन्स लाइक जो विष्णु को नकारते हैं उनको असुर बोला जाता है। तो वो असुर था एक साधु के वेश में, है ना। साधु रहते हुए साधु की बात करना चाहिए, परंतु असुरों की बात करता था। तो इस प्रकार वो जो, क्या हो गया इस तरह को तो वो असुर जो क्षत्रिय के रूप में था उसको भी खत्म होना पड़ा, और ये जो साधु के रूप में था उसको भी खत्म होना पड़ा था वहीं पर, कृष्ण के सामने वहीं पर, है ना। सो इसीलिए बहुत जरूरी है कि ये पतन की ओर ले जाने वाली फिलॉसफी का अंत कभी कभी बहुत होना जरूरी है। तो हम सोचते हैं कभी कभी, तो शिला प्रभुपाद लिखते हैं उसके अंदर, करंटली मेनी सूडो रिलीजन्स नाउ बिकमिंग फैशन इन अमेरिका, राइट। मैनी बीच में भगवान रजनीश भी गए थे, हमने सुना था, है ना। तो यूएसए, तो देर आर मेनी सूडो रिलीजन्स विच आर बिकम फैशनेबल इन अमेरिका आर ऑल्सो adhering to this philosophy. So, as long as are the nihilistic non-devotional Buddhist sect. Srila Prabhupada writes about this non-devotional Buddhist sect. So Buddhist philosophy is a philosophy. Ultimately, who was Buddha? He was none other than Vishnu. एक अवतार है, राइट, वन ऑफ द अवतार है, दशावतारों में वन ऑफ द अवतार है बुद्ध भी। तो बुद्ध, व्हाई डिड ही हैव टू कम व्हेन पीपल बिकम लाइक वैदिक फिलॉसफी था हमारा। अब वैदिक फिलॉसफी में था, वैदिक फिलॉसफी में देयर इज सैक्रिफाइस आल्सो, राइट। सैक्रिफाइस इन द सेंस हमें हाँ, जैसे इवन अब हम बैठ के यहाँ पे कथा सुन रहे हैं, ये भी सैक्रिफाइस होता है, इसको भी यज्ञ बोलते हैं। परंतु यज्ञ का मतलब क्या सोचते थे वो, कई लोगों ने बाद में क्या लेना शुरू कर दिया, सिर्फ हमें जानवरों की बलि देके यज्ञ करना है, जानवरों की बलि देके यज्ञ करते हैं और जानवर को मिलके खाते थे। अपने जीवा के लिए सारे, जो बलि किसके लिए दी जाती है, किसी कारण के लिए, आप अश्वमेघ यज्ञ कर रहे हो, 100 ये कर रहे हो, तो उस अश्व को भी भला हो, उसको भी हायर प्लैनेट, उसको ह्यूमन बर्थ मिले, और जो कर रहा है उसको भी हायर प्लैनेटरी पोजीशन में उसका पोजीशन निर्धारित हो, ऐसे की जाती थी बलि। तो बलि करवाने वाला उतना ये होता था कि उसके मंत्र उच्चार में इतनी प्रबलता होती थी कि बलि के वेदी पर जो इसका बलि दी जाती थी जिस भी पशु की, उसको भी मनुष्य जन्म मिलता था तुरंत। मीन्स लाइक उसको कोई वो ये जो कर्म बंधन से होके निकलना नहीं पड़ता था, उसको तुरंत मनुष्य होने मिलते थे। और जो करवा रहा है, पुजारी करवाता था, वो उसको भी जो है सो हायर प्लैनेटरी पोजीशन में ही मिलता था। तो वेदों के ऊपर, वेदों में जो बताया गया था किस लिए करना चाहिए, नॉट ऑलवेज, इट इज फॉर द पर्पस। तो उस पर्पस को छोड़ के जब मन पढ़त पे आने लग गए तो वो वेदों से हट गए। सो वैदिक फिलॉसफी नहीं रह गई थी। तो वैदिक फिलॉसफी नहीं रह गई थी तो फिर अब क्या करना, लोगों को मन बढ़ंत ऐसा खाने का आदत हो गया था। तो फिर बुद्धा ने आके क्या कहा कि देयर शुड बी नो वायलेंस, देयर शुड बी नो वायलेंस। वेदों में लिख, फिर वहां के बोला अरे भाई वेदों में लिखा है ये करना पड़ेगा, ये बलि देनी पड़ेगी, ये हमको कुछ ये पाना है तो ये बलि देनी पड़ेगी, अलग अलग यज्ञ है, ये अधिष्टोम यज्ञ करना पड़ेगा, ये करना पड़ेगा। तो बोलते वेदों को छोड़ दो, he gave very strict, leave Vedas, follow me. But who was he? So that is the reason Buddhist philosophy, so given by, so follow Vishnu, so follow me only, that is Buddha in form of Vishnu. Okay, he said don't follow Vedas, follow Vishnu, and that is the reason their philosophy became
fully materialistic philosophy and leaving the Vedas to the side. But this is our Vedic life, right? ये जो पूरा वेदास लिखा गया था वैदिक पद्धति के लिए लिखा गया था, तब वेदों के पुनरुत्थान के लिए द बुद्धिस्ट जो नॉन रिलीजियस फिलॉसफी जो बहुत ज्यादा बढ़ गई थी, उसको कम करने के लिए शंकराचार्य आए। पद्म पुराण में वर्णन है कि विष्णु बोलते अब तुम जाओ, पहले छांट दो, जो जितने छटने हैं तो छट जाएंगे, उसके बाद में दूसरा कार्य मैं करूंगा। तो शंकराचार्य आए, उन्होंने जो है सो एकेश्वरवाद जो है सो अपने जो है सो उनकी जो फिलॉसफी प्रस्तुत की और बोली वैदिक वेदास को वापस पुनरुत्थान किया, बोले वेद ही सत्य है। और वेदों में वही है कि ब्रह्म सत्यम जगत मिथ्या। तो ब्रह्म सत्य है, अर्थात भगवान है वो एक है और वेदों को फॉलो करना अनिवार्य है। फिर Yeah.
But follow Vishnu, right?
Yes.
So what is the big difference in that?
Big difference is nothing. Buddham Sharanam Gacchami. That's what they said, that you follow the Buddha and follow the principles. He gave certain principles. He gave how one can go to nirvana. I'll not be the right person to speak about that philosophy completely. He gave certain principles that, based on that principle, you can also attain nirvana. So, so nirvana stage, even he has given. But then, today's Buddhist philosophy, what it has become. One was Buddha, and then, this King Buddha had come, that Siddhartha. Yeah. So there is a difference between the Buddha which has come as Vishnu and one which has born as Siddhartha. He also did not see this and all those. And then, that Buddhistic philosophy, the same principles he took and he became fully non-distinct, non-Vedic philosophy. So, and today you see all Buddhist countries, they're all himsa only.
Okay.
So he came to stop all that. But today is that happening?
Buddha is seen as one of the avatars in the
No doubt.
right? So
No
he's
doubt.
also Vishnu. So when he's saying follow Vishnu, he's saying follow me. Right?
Yeah, that's what I'm telling. So that is the reason that he came for a purpose. Now, Hiranyakashipu, to kill Hiranyakashipu, how did Lord had to come? That's it. He came, he killed, and that's it. So there was a purpose. So actual avatar had come only during the time of this Rama and Krishna. Rest all purposes, whenever Vishnu had taken the avatar, it was for a particular purpose. Once that purpose was over and that was done. So Buddha avatar is also similar way.
But so what was the purpose?
The purpose was to bring the people from this non-Vedic philosophy to the bring out of that non-atheistic philosophy, meat eating and all those, so that this, because the ecological disturbance happens.
Today for different.
Yeah, today Buddhists all only kill and eat.
They follow Buddha, but they follow.
Yeah, they eat everything, whatever crawls. They eat.
Today only laughing Buddha at house.
So, okay, we'll not go into Buddhist philosophy. We'll come on to that because that will again deviate our. We have taken 2 shloks. I want to complete both shloks. Okay, we'll take up. Okay, we'll listen to Prabhu also later. And one who knows Buddha's philosophy, let them speak, because I'm not fully conversant with Buddha's philosophies. But Buddhism is also one of the religion which is propagated in India. No doubt, Buddha had appeared in India. So, and Buddhism flew across from India. But why in India it did not continue? Because ours was a Vedic philosophy. So we had to come back to the Vedas. And that is how you don't see more Buddhist in India. Okay. So, and you see the difference, no? Actual Buddhists who follow Lord Buddha, they have come to the Kumbh and taken snan. But Indian Buddhas, the people who follow Buddhism in India, created Buddhism. So that's what we say, no? Because how the materials change, and they were. That's why I said in the starting that they were not as distorted before as they have been distorting today. From Buddha used to wear all saffron clothes. You see today's Buddhists, they wear blue clothes.
That is different, not of Buddhism. There's a teacher, different teacher, that's why they're following different. Shankapa is there, and now this one Buddha is in Taiwan, the famous one now. So there's a lot of class, Dalai Lama.
Dalai Lama is still in India.
4, 5
He still follows that. He still follows.
4, 5 classes, and they have a different teaching. So clothes is not changed because of Buddhism. teaching is different. What is different?
So that's what you, I mean, I'm looking at the external thing. Okay, teachings, neither I know of the saffron one, neither of that blue ones. Okay. But whatever be the case, they were not the Vedic philosophies. Okay.
It's Vedic philosophy, but little bit different.
Yes, sir.
So both
We call Purnam.
Janma and Gautam, both we should ignore because coming
See,
to
only thing is that
yes.
what we call Purnam, they are saying Shunyam. This is the only difference. Not both are 100% same. They are Vedic philosophers. Difference, if you can just in one word, you see what we call Purnam, they call Shunyam. This is the only difference.
Okay.
It's very simple, and they are not like.
So Shunyavadi, right? Shunyavadi, they are called Shunyavadis. That's what, right? Shunyavadi. So, okay, that's also, see, I'm not telling, see, that's also one of the philosophy, but then, that is more on materialistic basis today. Going, okay, you can say,
But this is not materialistic. This is spiritualism. But this is never related to materialism. This is, I think, wrong concept, people.
Okay.
But this is only spiritualism.
Chalo, we'll discuss about that. It's okay. So anyway, we are not to discuss on Buddha today, but the question was, Vaibhashikas and Srila Prabhupada said akin to Buddhism. That is where this point had come, right? So Srila Prabhupada has mentioned it akin to Buddhism. Akin means similar to Buddhism. So Buddhism also does not follow the Vedic philosophy, and here also we do not follow the Vedic philosophy. We take only that as our answer, right? So by his, so we were like, yeah. So today America is also facing this problem. That's why Krishna is rebuking Arjuna. Okay, he is telling, don't become like this, and he is calling him mahā-bāho. This is the important word. Now, what is the meaning of mahā-bāho? क्षत्रिय का मतलब क्षत्रिय किस में आते हैं?
Vedic
में आते हैं, ठीक है ना? Okay, so that is the reason he says, don't become like those non-Vedic philosophers. Become mahā-bāho. You are a mahā-bāho, right? Arjuna was mahā-bāho or not? How? Any example? Like Drupad only will take example, right? For giving Guru Dakshina, as Guru was lamenting, right? कि मेरे को द्रुपद ने गाय नहीं दी और बोला था सब कुछ दे दूंगा, है ना? उनके मन में वो थी, और तुम्हारा आधा राज्य दे दूंगा, ऐसा बोला था बचपन में. उस आधा राज्य के प्रति उन्होंने दिया नहीं, तो उनके मन में ऐसा वो लैमेंटेशन था. अंत में उन्होंने अपने शिष्यों से वही मांगा कि भाई मेरे को द्रुपद को जीत के लेके आके दो. पहले कौरव गए थे, कोई जीत नहीं पाया था, लेकिन फिर अर्जुन ने जाकर द्रुपद को हराकर उनको दुर्योधन अपने द्रोणाचार्य के सामने पटक दिया और फिर आधा राज्य पैसा लिया. तो महाबाहो ऐसा बोलकर अर्जुन को वो उपदेश दे रहे हैं कि भाई तुमने अपने गुरु की शोक को शांत किया था और खुद शोक में डूबे हो, जबकि तुम्हें शोक करने का कोई औचित्य नहीं है. ठीक है? दैट इज व्हाई इज कॉलिंग तथापि महाबाहो. तथापि तो महाबाहो नत्वा śocitum arhasi. So the essence here is this material world is actually burning like a forest fire, Dhavagni जिसको बोलते हैं, and this Dhavagni can be settled only when the Jivatma adopts to rain, right? You know how this fire, forest fire, can it be stopped? It cannot be stopped at all, right? It cannot be stopped by any means. Only when the sky pours heavy rains, then only this fire forest extinguishes. So similarly, we have to have the instructions of Krishna, who is giving us, that follow Vedic philosophy for us. He is giving us the instructions, follow Vedic philosophy. Don't become lokaitas, like don't become like this non-mahā-bāho. You are a mahā-bāho, kshatriya. So follow chaturvarnyamaya srishtam gunakarma vibhagasa, which is a Vedic philosophy. So this can extinguish the rain of your lamentations. And that is why he is surrendered to Krishna, right? So that he can get his instructions. So ये है इस main श्लोक का मतलब. So we had come from a spiritual level back to the bodily level today, right? When he is explained, even if you want to think from bodily angle point of view, that nothing like the soul exists, there is only chemical changes, you don't have to lament, because your lamentation is much lower than those chemicals. So for a loss of chemical, you don't have to lament. And then continuing, next sloka 27, what it says? Jātasya hi dhruvo mṛtyur, dhruvaṁ janma mṛtasya cha
तस्माद अपरिहार्ये थे न त्वं शोचितुम अर्हसि। तो कहते हैं कि जिसने जन्म लिया है उसका मृत्यु निश्चित है और मृत्यु के पश्चात पुनर्जन्म भी निश्चित है। अतः अपने अपरिहार्य कर्तव्य पालन में, अपरिहार्य कर्तव्य पालन में तुम्हें शोक नहीं करना चाहिए। वेरी वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट। सो यहाँ बस ये वर्ड बोला, न त्वं शोचितुम अर्हसि, विच इज अगेन that you are not befitting for lamentation. You are not fit for lamentation. You are not fit for lamentation. So what is he saying? jātasya hi. jātasya का मतलब born, right? One who is born. आज वो बात ही हो रहा है। jātasya hi, one who is born. dhruvaṁ, mṛtyur, sure. dhruvaṁ, mṛtyur, death is certain. We can say sure, that is pure. So one who is born, for him death is sure. Okay. dhruvaṁ janma mṛtasya, for the dead birth is certain. tasmād aparihārye rthe, therefore for this unavoidable discharge of duties, aparihārye rthe means for discharge of your duties, na tvaṁ śocitum arhasi, do not lament. For doing your duties, please do not lament. So jātasya dhruvo mṛtyur, everyone you will see, other religions and everybody taking use of this line. भाई जिसने जन्म लिया वो मरता है। कृष्ण ने भी जन्म लिया, राम ने भी जन्म लिया, जन्म लिए, ये मरते हैं। He is not God. Only this part. They do not know Krishna is Satchidananda and all those. But to defame anybody, one who takes birth, dies. Supreme never takes birth, never dies. Okay, yeah, he never takes birth. He descends. सृजाम्यहम, he says later on, सृजाम्यहम, मैं अवतरित होता हूं। मैं जन्म नहीं लेता हूं, मैं अवतरित होता हूं। अवतरित होने में डिफरेंस है। डिसेंडिंग इज डिफरेंट देन टेकिंग बर्थ। सो जातस्य ध्रुवो मृत्यु, ध्रुवम जन्म मृतस्य, बट उसका सेकंड लाइन ही नहीं यूज करता है, खाली इतना ही बोलता है बस। क्या? वन हू इज बॉर्न इज डेथ एंड द डेथ हैज टू टेक रीबॉर्न। नहीं, वो हमारे इसमें है नहीं, reborn हमारे साथ है नहीं। So he is never born. He is there, he can enjoy life, he is died and go, finish. So but we know we are not the body, we are the soul, right? Who takes birth? Body takes birth because of the soul, right? We clearly understood that, right? From in the previous shlokas. And when the soul leaves, because it is ajanma, there is no death and nothing for him. So when the soul leaves, the body is death. But the birth is being taken by soul again. The same soul again takes birth, rebirth. पुनर्जन्म का मतलब क्या होता है? मेरा ही पुनर्जन्म होगा, अर्थात मैं जो आत्मा हूं, मेरा ही पुनर्जन्म होगा। चेंज ऑफ बॉडी, है ना? इसीलिए कृष्णा ने पहले वो सब कहा था कि आपको मीन्स लाइक wise men do not lament on changing of bodies, changing of clothes. That is the reason he said all those before. Because he said that before, now he is closing this pact. These open-ended. He is coming to an end of almost this body and soul concept. So he is closing the gaps slowly. So, we have to understand the whole classic. Why he said jātasya dhruvo mṛtyur, dhruvaṁ janma mṛtasya cha. So, many of them will this for many of them, but for every one of us, this is so unsolved mystery, death, right? Death is a so unsolved mystery. Why does all of us born with the sentence of death on them? jātasya dhruvo mṛtyur, dhruvaṁ janma mṛtasya cha. You are born with the sentence of death. है ना? आपके सर पे ऑलरेडी सेंटेंस है, जन्म लेते ही मरना है। Why are we born with that kind of logic? Very important, right? हमारे मीन्स लाइक कैसा जहन में ऐसा क्यों है कि ऑलवेज दिस सेंटेंस इज ऑल अबव आवर हेड? इसलिए ऑफ कोर्स वी डू नॉट लाइक डेथ. The sentence of death always upon us, we do not like, and that is the reason we hide it or deny it. Okay.
that we are not going to die, or mentally think we are not going to die, others are going to die, but I am not going to die. So, but whatever you do, the act of death is inevitable. Inevitable. Often the tendency is to look upon death as a remote, distance event. The death will come by आएगा, बहुत दिनों बाद आएगा. We generally often tend to take it as a remote distance event. And all the more it will happen to others, not to us. But in fact, when the death has come to one of your near and dear ones, and that too, when he is all healthy and fit and fine, without any symptoms, then it really jolts you sometimes. अरे ये क्या हो गया? अभी तो उसके साथ बैठे बैठे बात ही कर रहा था. Then it really sometimes jolts you. What has happened? बहुत था वो तो. तब सबको वैराग्य आता है, जिसको शमशान वैराग्य बोलते हैं. इसको शमशान वैराग्य बोलते हैं. भाई हाँ, आखिर एक दिन तो सबको जाना ही है, सब है ही है, और वापस वो समय थोड़ा बीता नहीं, वापस हम मटेरियल माया मटेरियल में आए कि नहीं, वापस हम we go into all those trivial pleasures. Whatever we want to enjoy, we go back into those trivial pleasures and pursuits. Actually, death is an evolving process. It's an evolving process. Of course, it is an event which has to be registered, but it is an evolving process. It is not that, the moment we celebrate birthdays, what are we doing? In this part of the world, they don't celebrate birthdays. Why? Because you are nearing your death. You are nearing your death. We celebrate birthday. Birthday is going back. The day you started, that day is nearing you. So you are nearing death, not birth.
Why started celebrating everyone?
That's the reason we say, may you never take birth again. कई बार हम बोलते हैं, लेकिन यहाँ पे हम नहीं बोल रहे हैं, सऊदी अरेबिया में.
Birthday sounds better than death day.
नहीं, generally we praise that only. Hare Krishna to you. May Krishna bless you. May you never take birth again. This is our prayer as a soul. But if we take it sometimes the people may take it very seriously because they don't understand the difference between body and soul. बॉडी का बर्थडे तो कोई मतलब नहीं है. एक्चुअली उसी सोल का बर्थडे जिसको मना रहे हो, लेकिन उसका डेथ डे नजदीक होता है. He has to wind up his all duties. Tasmād aparihārye rthe. He has to do all those duties and he has to go. That's it. So it's an evolving process. Medical science, of course, records death as a process which is a gradual process of shutdown of some bodily functions, and then it is death. Heart, generally that's what they say. Heart has stopped working and it is death. So that is where they record it as an event, and time of death becomes, because when time is recorded, it becomes an event, right? So people in hospitals will know how your body would undergo in the last moments and death is nearing. But instead of glorifying the death, because we read, right, we cannot anyway avoid death, we have to face it. So why not glorify it, right? We read this also, right? This also I said during one of the previous shlokas. So death is anyway inevitable, so you have to face it. So why not glorify it? Glorify in the आराम से glorification का मौत मरो, ना कि general मौत मरना चाहिए, ना कि भाई भगवान को याद करते हुए. At least you have nothing to lose. So they know, instead of guiding people, glorifying their death, they misuse. I should not say that. Prabhu is here working in hospitals. So sometimes they, instead of dignifying the peaceful process, they sometimes misuse the event. But whatever you say, it's a process where you are inching near to death every day. It's not a process which comes only in the end. It comes from the day when you're born. So its only thing is we don't take it. Management lessons, you go to management lessons, management gurus gives you these lessons. They will give you one definite line. So, say after 3 months your death is there, what all you will plan? Ask them. They will write all essays. Whatever they'll come, they will write to that essays. And all those, points will be based on what? Keeping the sentence that death is going to come, right? All their plans will be based on that, death is going to come. It is on the top of their mind, right? That is why the moment we have taken birth, This sentence is top one of our. It is attached to us that you have taken birth, you are going to die. So that is actually actually if you see, Bhagavad Gita gives you this traditional spiritual teaching, which says that begin with what is end in your mind. Right? Management lessons also gives you the same thing. Management gurus also say you the same thing. Keep your goal in the mind always. Focus the goal and do your deeds. So you focus the goal that death is inevitable. That's going to come. And now you jot down all your parameters. Tasmād aparihārye, what all kartavya you have to do. Come on, jot down. Arjuna was doing that. That's why. तस्माद अपरिहार्यते, तुमको अपना कर्तव्य करने का है, ये आपको करते हुए आगे निकलना है ना। कंस और अर्जुन का एग्जांपल लेते हैं। कंस एक असुर था, है ना। उसको जैसे ही पता चला मेरी मृत्यु होने वाली है केवल आकाशवाणी से, क्या करना चाहा उसने? उठा के पहले उसकी बहन को ही मार देना चाहा। राइट? वो तो ठीक है, बाद में वो स्टोरीज हमने समझ ली उसके लिए, लेकिन वी ओनली स्टिक टू दिस। वो अपनी बहन को तक मारने के लिए रेडी हो गया था, पाप करने के लिए रेडी हो गया था, क्योंकि हत्या होती है ना, वो तो तुम अपने फायदे के लिए मार रहे हो, हत्या है ना। वो हत्या करके पाप करने के लिए तैयार था। और यहाँ पे अर्जुन क्या करना, हत्या नहीं करना चाह रहा है, पाप लगेगा के चक्कर में। ये कॉन्ट्रास्ट समझा ना, असुर और भक्त के बीच में का कॉन्ट्रास्ट। तो एक अपना कर्तव्य नहीं करना चाह रहा है पाप लगने की वजह से, और एक अपने जान बचाने के लिए पाप करने के लिए तैयार है। तो डाई तो कंपलसरी है, तो आप कुछ भी कर लो, तस्माद अपरिहार्य रthe। सो आपको अपना कार्य करना ही है, इसीलिए सूत्र है कि डेथ तो इनएविटेबल है, कंस को भी एक दिन मरना पड़ा, और वैसे ही ये सारे जो सामने तुम्हारे ये भी सारे मर जाएंगे। बहुत कम है, एक्सेप्शन है उसमें भी, कि कोई लोग इसी शरीर के साथ में स्वर्ग गए हैं, बहुत कम लोग हैं। ध्रुव महाराज है, ओके, शास्त्रों में आता है, मृत्यु के ऊपर पैर रखकर उन्होंने ध्रुव लोक का पदार्पण किया। उसी बहुत एक्सेप्शन है, उसके अंदर हरि की कृपा जरूरी होती है। हम सबको कृपा मिलेगी क्या? नहीं, हाँ, कोई लास्ट में कौन बचा था? युधिष्ठिर और नहीं, हाँ ठीक है, या ना, दुर्योधन तो ऑन दी दिस थिंग, नो, he is first only, he is already dead in the battlefield, no, that's not no, but apart from that, like even this there was one more Dhruvo Maharaj is there, and one in today's you see in this Yudhishthira, and even you see in today's that Karnataka Prabhu, what is that नहीं अपने मी चालो मराठी विठल, हाँ विठल, जो विठल का स्टोरी में जो आते हैं, हाँ तुकाराम, संत तुकाराम, यही तो याद ही नहीं कर रहा था। तो वही भी तो उनका भी वर्णन ऐसे ही आता है कि वो ऐसी शरीर के साथ में गए, वो कृपा होनी पड़ती है। इट्स नॉट दैट इजी।
Just one question, Prabhuji. See, you said death is inevitable, which you said, of course.
Yeah.
But the timing is still manageable, right? So
No.
why you can
No. you परीक्षित महाराज को 7 दिन में मृत्यु का ये मिला था श्राप, हमें भी 7 दिन ही मिलने वाला है, हमें भी 7 ही दिन मिलने वाला है, मंडे, ट्यूसडे, वेडनेसडे, थर्सडे, फ्राइडे, सैटरडे, संडे, ये 7 ही दिनों में हमारी मृत्यु होने वाली है। लेकिन कब, ये अगले क्षण या कितने सालों बाद, ये पता नहीं। तो 7 दिन हमें भी दिए, हफ्ते के 7 दिन हमें भी दिए, इसी 7 दिन में हमारी मृत्यु निश्चित है, उसके आगे कुछ नहीं है। So that's why Srila Prabhupada says, so dhruvaṁ janma mṛtasya, the soul is never destroyed. So once losing the body, you will have to get new body. ये bodily concept पे आज जिस कर रहे हैं, once you lose the body, you will have to get new body. So even if you think from that there is no soul, still actually it is soul who gets the body. But if you have to get new body, so rebirth is there. So rebirth is there for the soul only. If for you this body is dead and turned to ashes, and again this ashes will not get converted for a new body for you. It is based on your karma. That is what Srila Prabhupada writes. So after that janma, either material or spiritual, he writes, मनुष्य को अपने कर्म के अनुसार जन्म ग्रहण करना होता है, और कर्म अवधि समाप्त होने पर मरना ही होता है. That is where the karma decides your next birth. Karma comes into picture. Not that
that chemical reactions body got dead and again new chemical body got created and it's continuing. No, it is your karma, your deeds, which will define the next body. So कर्मों के अनुसार जन्म लेना होता है. For example, a person wanted to become a king or leader of a particular kabila, but he has not done any work which makes him a leader. उसको अगला जन्म भगवान ने कुत्ते का डिसाइड किया. He becomes a dog, but because he had an ichha that I should become the leader of his kabila, he becomes the leader of that dog society within there. He's become a leader. Now you have to decide whether that life was good or you get a human life. That defines your karma.
Wish also
हाँ, wish is also important. Wish तो आपकी पूरी कर ही रहे हैं भगवान, है ना. लेकिन आपको सोचना है कि भाई ये ऐसे विश भी काम. एक आदमी ने सोचा मेरे पीछे खूब आगे पीछे खूब गाड़ियां चलती रहे, मर्सिडीज ये वो, जो गाड़ी मेरी आगे पीछे गाड़ियां घूमती रहे. कोई बात नहीं, भगवान ने उसको अगले बार पुलिसमैन बना दिया. चलाते रहे, सिग्नल पे खड़े खड़े सबको आगे पीछे गाड़ियां ही है तेरे. है कि नहीं. तो कर्म किस प्रकार खेला खेलता है आपको पता भी नहीं है ना. मेरे धन चोर खा जाएंगे, सांप बन के आता है ना, उसका भी स्टोरी हमने पढ़ा था. उसके घर वाले उसके सांप को मार देते हैं ना. कई ऐसे चीजें होती है. तो यही होता है कि भगवान एक को बहुनाम ये विददाति कामान. भगवान वो भगवान एक है परंतु वे अनेकों के लिए सब कुछ कार्य करने के लिए यदि आपने अपना कर्म करना है तो भगवान उस कर्म को उस नाम से आपको पर्टिकुलर पूरा कर देते. तो सोच समझकर हमको इच्छाएं रखनी चाहिए. इच्छाएं तो फिर भी ठीक है, कर्म अच्छे करने चाहिए जिससे एटलीस्ट हमको वो, अगर इच्छा भी कुछ रह गई है तो उसकी पूरी करने के लिए मनुष्य शरीर तो मिले. नहीं तो फिर जानवर शरीर में तो इच्छाएं बहुत कम होती है.
एक व्यक्ति ऐसे ही हमेशा पैसा पैसा करता रहता है. भगवान से कहता है कि मुझको ऐसा कुछ करो कि मैं हमेशा पैसे के पास रहूं. तो अगले जन्म में उसको एटीएम के बाहर चौकी
यही एग्जैक्टली वो पुलिसमैन के वैसे ही एग्जैक्ट. तो ध्रुवम जन्म मृtasya. तो ऑल टुगेदर इट इज मोर इम्पोर्टेंट फॉर पीपल ऑफ टुडेज एज वेयर पीपल लिव मटेरियलिस्टिक लाइफ and not knowing what is next life is, commit all kinds of sins. हर प्रकार के व्यभिचार, हर प्रकार के अपराध, हर प्रकार के, मैं ये नहीं बोल रहा हूँ अपने सब, but like in general I'm talking. In general you see people are more all into abominable activities. That's why it is said tasmād aparihārye rthe, that discharge your duties in the ordinary course of business. In the ordinary course of business you have born as a kshatriya. You have battle is already decided. You have to do your duty. क्षत्रियों का कर्म है युद्धे च अपलायनम. इसलिए महाबाहु बोला था उसको पहले, तुझे युद्ध छोड़कर जा नहीं सकता तू, तुझे युद्ध तो करना ही है ना. तो fight and kill all this adharmis. That is why Srila Prabhupada has given that write up on why violence is needed. Like if there is something happening very harsh, like if there is some danga happening somewhere else, riots happening somewhere else, you have to issue a lathi charge order, right? You cannot say, oh no, my men are there, his men are there. You have to issue to maintain law and order. To maintain law and order, you have to give a lathi charge, and after giving lathi charge, in that maybe some people will die. It is in the ordinary course of business. Not that they wanted to kill them. It's not their intention. गोलियां चलानी पड़ती है दुश्मन कंट्री पे. It is not to kill that intention, but it is order. Right? Fire. मेजर ने ऑर्डर दिया फायर, तो उसने फायर करना ही है. सामने वाला भाई भी इंसान है, उसके भी घर में बीवी बच्चे नहीं, अब वहां से ऑर्डर आया तो देना ही है. शत्रु कंट्री पर ऑर्डर करना ही है. Why? To maintain law and order and the authority. So Krishna tried his level best to stop the war. He went to the extent of asking 5 villages, but all those were closed. That time he said, then only Yuddha Vikalp rehta hai, and everybody okayed. Yuddha Vikalp hai, and now why are you lamenting? Such a fool. It is not worthy for you, Arjuna. So even from the bodily conscious point of view, today, like, it's being given that, this lamentation of Arjuna is of no use, not killing his purpose. Okay. So the purpose of Kshatriya is that. And that is the reason what is written, Srila Prabhupada has written, जन्म मरण के इस चक्र में वृथा हत्या, वध या युद्ध का समर्थन नहीं होता, किंतु मानव समाज में शांति की व्यवस्था बनाए रखने के लिए हिंसा तथा युद्ध अनिवार्य है। कुरुक्षेत्र का युद्ध भगवान की इच्छा से होने के कारण अपरिहार्य था, अपरिहार्य थे, natural discharge of your duties, because it was already decided by Krishna when the peace talks failed, and everybody agreed to it that if there is no vikalpa, then yuddha is only the vikalpa. So of course you have to fight. Here lamentation is of no use. Hare Krishna. So these two shlokas, I thought, a materialistic point of view, thought I'll take together. And next week, of course, we have a Holi festival. So morning, people who want to play Holi can give their names to Arun Prabhu, details to Arun Prabhu, so that, Arun Prabhu can give you the invite. So you can go and play in the consulate. Okay. And evening, 4 o'clock onwards, 5 o'clock onwards, 5, sharp 5. 5 will start Abhishekam. 5 o'clock onwards, we will start Abhishekam and do Chappan Bhoga and everything and finish Prasadam by 8:30. Fasting hai wo din, wo to likha hi hu, already in the pamphlet written, fasting full day and fast break on the moonrise. So 6:44 is the moonrise. After that we can break fast. So 7:15, 7:30 tak. We can break fast by taking Charanamrit, 6:45. But after that, we can have Prasadam at 7:30. So those who can fast, otherwise those who can, like, it's one of the thing. Those who can have fruits and all this, yes. श्रीला प्रभुपाद की जय। किसी का और कोई प्रश्न वगैरह है तो वो, नहीं तो फिर हम लोग चैतन्य यात्रा करते हैं। प्रभु हमने सबको ये दिया है, विल जस्ट रिसाइट बिकॉज नेक्स्ट वीक ये आ रहा है, तो चैतन्य यात्रा करके भगवान पंच तत्व कीर्तन करते हुए सबके यहाँ जाते हैं। हमारे पास इतना समय नहीं है, मंदिर से भगवान के छोटे विग्रह है या फिर फोटो जो पंच तत्व की होती है वो लेके सारे नगर में जाते हैं, हर एक का दरवाजा खटखटाते हैं और बजा के उनको कीर्तन करते हैं, और वो लोग उनको फ्लावर वगैरह कुछ है वो ऐसा ऑफर कर देते हैं भगवान को, है ना। और फिर वो इनविटेशन रहता है कि भाई आपको आना है चैतन्य पूर्णिमा के दिन, है ना, गौर पूर्णिमा के दिन। So that's actually carried out home by home without calling. In GCC, where there is temple, they go to the persons who have called. In Riyadh, we are having altogether only one day, not having more days, going at every place like we do in Damodar. So everyone is here. We do that here itself. Invocate the auspiciousness of Gaur Purnima by reciting Shikshashtakam, which is 8 shlokas given by Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And we recite them and we invoke auspiciousness. And so while doing kirtan, I will bring Panchatattva to all of you. You can offer flower. There is placed flowers today for you all. Little. Sabko paati aa jaye वैसे कर लेना. Hare Krishna. Okay. So I have given it in the group actually. प्रभु इन दोनों ग्रुप में ऐड करने का है. आप भेज दोगे इनको? So what we'll do recitation or we'll do together? Together करना है या फिर मैं बोलूं तो समय लग जाएगा? Together करते हैं, चलो ठीक है. Because ultimately, ओम अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितमेन तस्मै श्री गुरुवे नमः. उन लोगों का क्लास हो रहा है तो एक फोटो ले लो, उन लोगों का भी एक कोई फोटो ले लो and just send it to me. उनका क्लास लेते हुए का, because this Gaur Purnima aa raha hai, I have to send the report that they have also been doing the program, but then we never focus on them photo के लिए. अपना तो भी photos है. So we'll recite because it's आप लोगों के पास मिल गया? हाँ? Yes, है ना? हाँ.
विकास प्रभु आपके पास भी है ना? नहीं है? शिक्षा अष्टकम, हाँ, I found. I'll add you all in the group also. You can pass on you have the numbers, no? You can add it so that group make it. So this is 8 verses of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and that has the entire philosophy of all. Now this 8 verses also is akin to Bhagavad Gita philosophy or Vedic philosophy. All these, it takes the essence of all those only. Okay, so we'll read the shlokas first and then later on translation. All together, okay? Cheto darpanamarjanam bhavamaha dhāvagni nirvapanam shreya kairava chandrika vitaranam vidyavadu jivanam anandam buddhivardhanam pratipadam purnamrta swadanam